Welcome to Kermode Uncut. Very interesting film opened a couple of weeks ago that I really liked called White God. It's a Hungarian drama. It's somewhat indefinable. It is to some extent about a canine uprising on the streets of Budapest. You can read it as a metaphor about Europe's underclass, or you can see it as a film about the relationship between man and animals, or you can see it as a modern day fairy tale like Beauty and the Beast but with added teeth. It's a really powerful and mesmerising piece of work. And as I was watching it and being very impressed by it, I started to get worried because there are scenes in it of dogfights which are very convincingly done and are really gripping, but also very, very disturbing because dogfighting is a horrible business. And I did what I often do in this case. I'd seen the screening and I rang the BBFC, who are very good now about these kind of inquiries. I said, look, just reassure me. I'm assuming that the film has been classified and therefore you checked out to make sure that there was no cruelty to animals involved in making it. And the BBFC immediately went to their files. They said, no, we have on record the necessary assurances that no animals were harmed during the making of White God. In fact, it was trainers training animals to do something that looked like they were fighting, but to do with the way the film was cut, it was very well put together. And the BBFC had indeed checked it out, which is part of their duty. It reminded me of the case of Amores Perros some years ago, which also had extraordinary dogfighting scenes in it. Same thing happened. I saw the film, I was impressed by it, but I was alarmed by the dogfighting scenes, and I rang the BBFC and said, you checked out the dogfighting sequences? Yes, absolutely, the necessary reassurances were indeed attained, because the BBFC are required by law to make sure that films featuring animal action did not feature cruelty to those animals. They are bound by two pieces of legislation. The most important one is the Cinematograph Act 1937, often referred to as the Animals Act, which forbids the certification of any film which contains the cruel infliction of pain or terror and the cruel goading of any animal to fury. There's also been, since 2006, an Animal Welfare Act which makes it illegal to supply, publish, show or possess with intent to supply a video recording of an animal fight that has taken place within Great Britain since the 6th of April 2007. Now basically what that means is that the BBFC keep a very strong check on the way animals are used in movies, and I utterly approve of this. I know some people claim censorship, but I think this is a really terrific piece of legislation. It does exactly what it's made to do. I mean, my rule has always been, if you can't make a movie without being cruel to animals, then frankly don't make the movie. In America, the American Humane Association monitor the treatment of animals on the set of movies. You've probably seen at the end of a film, you'll get a certificate which says, no animals were harmed, and a symbol which tells you that those animal activities have been monitored. Here's an interesting thing about that monitoring. The system that we have now owes a great debt to what happened on the set of Michael Cimino's Heaven's Gate. Now, I don't like Heaven's Gate at all. It's a disaster. It pretty much sank United Artists. I know that some revisionists now say it's an overlooked masterpiece, and it's now become very fashionable to say it's a great movie. You know what? It's not. It's long, it's boring, it's indecipherable, and the fact of the matter is, it is still banned by the American Humane Association. It is on their list of unacceptable movies. Why? Well, during the course of the movie, they allege that horses were mistreated, including one horse being blown up. How did Michael Cimino respond to this? Basically, he sent them packing, sent them off the set so they couldn't monitor the animal action in the making of the film. As a result of that, the outcry prompted the Screen Actors Guild, SAG, and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, the AMPTP, to contractually authorize the AHA to monitor the use of animals in all filmed media. What that basically means is Heaven's Gate, that catastrophic, self-indulgent mess of a movie in which Michael Cimino basically put the knife into United Artists, did do one good thing. It ensured that animal safety on movie sets was properly monitored. For that, thanks, Michael.